Good evening to whoever's watching and whoever will inevitably be watching later to see a repeat of what I'm sure will be a super clean, no incidents race up Crash Mountain, Mount Panorama. Looking forward to it. Should be great fun. Group 1, quite a few guys here. Been racing here already this week in endurance events. Hey Roger in the chat, good to see you. Yeah, so it should be quite fun, I think, and pretty tasty. I was watching the practice and some really fast guys. So yeah, oof, that was pretty dramatic. Luckily, still in free practice. Yeah, obviously some guys here really pushing it. Rich Cass on there as well. I saw in practice these guys doing mid. Oh, he's gone as well. Somebody left a bit of oil there on the circuit. Some guys in practice doing mid to low 201s. Very low 201s, frightening speed really, but I don't know how they do it. I reckon the track's not optimum at the minute. I think it's fast and I think it's catching a few people out. Anyway, yeah, here we are. So this is round 6, the Group 1 Monday night race for season 3. Roger or anyone in the chat, if there is someone there, just let me know if the audio balance is okay for now. I know my mic is shit, you don't have to tell me that, but hopefully the audio balance is okay. Hey Chris, good evening. So coming along. It's just me in commentary. Oh great, thanks Roger. Great, so you can hear me, you can hear a bit of game audio as well. So that's cool. So we're just a minute or so away from qualifying for this race. I won't try and get caught out this time. Try not to get caught out by the formation lap whilst I go and get water, so I completely missed the start. So what are we looking at? How many guys on the grid tonight? We've got 23 on the grid, which is a bit lower than I thought we'd see. It's usually around 30, 29, 30. So yeah, see how we go. Maybe it's less carnage if it's 23 guys, who knows? Although it's doubtful. But who have we got here that's competing? I've just put the positions for the Pro and the Pro-Ams up, current positions, and they're a little bit screwed up. But yeah, okay. Oh, is my audio lower than normal? Is that what you're saying? Crank it up a bit higher, won't it? Yeah, okay. It might be the game audio is a bit low. I'll just crank that up too. But yeah, okay. So yeah, in the gold category in the pros, Dave Sparks is up there, but it's some pretty close fights behind, right down to P6, Peter Wolfslener, and right down to Paul Sims. Paul's, a few of these guys have driven here, like I said, in the endurance over the weekend, so they're well practiced at doing good laps here, but maybe not crazy fast laps here, but certainly they know the track pretty well now. Gets consistent times. Let me just press drive on this puppy here. Great. And get back to here. Great. Okay, so yeah, we have got an exciting racing prospect. I think we're just running normal conditions, so it'll be dry conditions, optimum track, daytime running. Nothing crazy. Bathurst is enough of a challenge on its own without doing anything stupid. And we're off for quali, so let's flick over to the full screen and take a look at what we're seeing here. I've got it on auto cam at the moment, but I will, once people start putting the laps in, I'll start to focus on those that are pushing a good time. Yeah, Roger, you don't need to, all you need to practice is your poaching technique from the back of the grid. That's what you want to do. Back off and then go from the start and just see, practice weaving through carnage is probably the best way to do it. I don't know. I don't know. You can do, it's a funny track, isn't it? In race trim when you're switched on. Hey Paul, good to see you, mate. In race trim when your brain's switched on, it's pretty, I don't know, there's something about it once you get into a rhythm at the track, provided you're not right at the back of someone else, you can get into a pretty good rhythm, can't you, with this track? But it only takes a quarter of a second for it to go horribly wrong, as we all know. So yeah, Chris, you've been driving the Beamer all week, need to get used to the Porker again. Yeah, well, whoever really gets used to the Porco, that's the question. Although your livery on that Porco is always worth running. It's nice. If it's the one I'm thinking of. It's a nice livery. Great. So who have we got here that's in the running? So yeah, in the championship positions, we have not got Mr. Sparks, the championship leader this evening. There's a lot of yellow flags going on here. Has there been a crash up the mountain? I think there might have been. There's been a crash at start finish. Hold on a second. Let me see what's going on here. Or maybe it was just because they're all backing up. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, let's have a look at who's out and who's putting in good laps already. So first out is car number 3. Mr. Sims got out early. Looks like a carbon Ferrari, but it's not, because it is styled, isn't it? It's got a livery roof. Quite minimal look. Stealth mode. It's Paul in stealth mode. It's going for the opposite of the Adam Rios styling. He's going for complete darkness on his car, so nobody sees him coming. Hey Steve, good to see you. Thanks for coming along. A few people watching tonight. I'd usually expect it just mainly to be people after the race watching, but yeah, let's see how we go. So yeah, Paul Sims coming up to put in a first flying lap. Can I tell you if the track's optimum? No, I can't at the moment. Let's just assume it's fast, about to go optimum. I think it's probably the best way to look at it. And then behind him on track, I think, who else is there? Craig. Peter is there as well. So yeah, Dave Sparks is not here tonight. So it's a chance. There's about 20-point difference at the top of the table. He's got a 20-point lead. So there's a very good chance. I did, no, Paul, I synced all the liveries. They're all synced. So if there is something not there, it's either broken or it ain't there. No, Paul's car is that livery. It's carbon black, but it has a gold roof, I think. So yeah. Yeah, so tonight, if you look at it this way, Sims, Starkey, Wolfslener in particular, have a real opportunity to get to the top of the pro category in Group 1. Because Mr. Sparks couldn't make this one. I know there's 2 drop races, but the point is where we currently stand, they could reach top of the table tonight. Any one of those 3 or about 4 or 5 actually are only 20 odd points behind Dave Sparks. The pace has been set 2:02, which is going to come down by Rich Gasson. Let's just have a quick look in the pretty visible livery of Rich Gasson there. I'll just go to a decent TV cam. There we go. So yeah, Rich Gasson on the Lambo. I don't know how much he likes Bathurst. He seems to go fast here. He goes fast most places. But everyone is pretty bunched up. There's a lot of people doing low 202s. The top 5 at the moment: Gasson, Wolfslener, Sims, Bourne and Serrano are all 202, mid 202 to low 202. Top 3 in particular at the moment: Gasson, Wolfslener and Sims, 202 flat. So they're all going pretty quick. Let's just have a look for anybody who's putting in good laps at the moment. In the old Ferrari, it's Thomas. Thomas Lenatus. I saw him in chat earlier just saying it's pretty squeaky trying to get that thing up and over the mountain compared to the new Fezzer. But yeah, he's 0.4 up on his best at the moment. Looking like he's going to be doing low 202. Let's just see where he ends up with that. Follow him for a second. Just go on mute. Sorry about a delay there. I was just chatting to my my boys. I've been given a sewing job to do, modern man. Yeah, so I've got to sew up some cuddly toys. It's quite an endless job actually, sewing up cuddly toys in our house. Anyway, back on track. What did Thomas do? He did a 2:02.5. Okay, so he lost a bit towards the end of that lap. Rich Gasson well into the 2:01s. I missed the fastest lap, 2:01.3. That's setting the pace. That's setting a pretty hot pace, isn't it? Peter Wolfslener in a Porsche 0.3 Also behind that, that's pretty significant at the moment though. I know, oh, Thomas has had a, I think he's probably getting out, was he getting out of the way? He got out of the way in a very dramatic way. Let's see who else in the top. Now, something else I've noticed here, Kamara, who is our leader in, I think he's a leader, isn't he? In the Pro-Am, he's super fast here. I know he's got a couple of tracks seem super fast at, to the point where probably is more suited to be in the pro category, if we're being honest, but it makes it a good challenge, doesn't it, for the Pro-Ams if we've got some people there that are really fast on some tracks. I saw him putting in low 201s earlier as well, so he is stupid fast on this track. Let's see what he can do in quali and in the race, but I would expect him to be at the top end of the Pro-Ams. Roger, you can't say that about our drivers at better halves driving. And besides, maybe she was driving for the quali lap where he went pretty fast. So yeah, look, I mean, Kamara's just put it on P2. He's only 0.17 behind Rich Gasson at the moment. So it just shows you the pace he's got here is pretty crazy. That livery's nice too, isn't it? It's a pretty good looking livery. Who else is doing okay? Paul's a little bit up on his previous best. He's currently sitting P4 behind Peter Wolfsenner. Paul Sims in the new Ferrari. What are we looking at? About half the grid, not half the grid. Just over a third of the grid is the new Fezzer. There's quite a few Porsches here as well. We've got 5, 6, 7 Porsches. And only Rich Gasson, I think, representing the Lamborghini, Camp Lamborghini. Tonight anyway. I should be, but I'm not there. And Mr. Holmes as well in our lone Audi. I'm just having a look at my list. Paul's 0.2 up on his lap, but his fastest is only a 202 at the moment. I know he's capable of going quite a bit quicker than that. Also, Dan Moffat, he hasn't really put in a fast lap yet. Maybe he's biding his time. Maybe he's had a nightmare. I don't know. Let's just follow Paul through to the end of this lap. See if he can. He's over 2 tenths up now on his best. Should put him comfortably into. Oh, I think it just put him into third. If that comes through. No, he's still in P4. Fractionally. What's he got there? He's just a tenth behind Peter Wolfsenner at the moment. Kamara's 2015 and Rich Gasson 201.3, looking pretty strong at the moment. Don't tell Kamara if he qualifies P1 for the race, I'm putting him straight into Pro. No hanging around in Pro-Am. And then Steve House, you can have his place in Group 1 in the Pro-Am category. There you go. You're welcome. Okay, what are we looking at here? Peter's on a bit of a flyer. Let's see if he can put it together coming down the mountain. He's just come over the hill, over Skyline, down a dipper. And then at the corner we all love to hate. How's he looking? Still 2.5 tenths up on his best. So if this comes good, he'll take P2 provisionally with just under 4 minutes to go. It goes very fast, doesn't it? Yeah. Steve having a heart attack in the chat there. Better free up your Monday night, Steve. Peter 4 tenths up now. This is actually seriously fast. This could take pole. Just get it right for the final corner. It's looking good. Half a second up now. It's got to be pole. Provisional pole. Peter Wolfsenner there with a 201.3. I think track must be optimal now. Getting the low 201s. I saw 3 or 4 of these guys doing 0.2s in practice in the previous session, so there is still time in this track if they're able to put it together. Let's just look at who else down the grid is doing is putting in some good times. Chris is just putting a lap for P7. I think he might have been P7 already. Who else is a long way around their lap? Larson here is currently P10, but he's over half a second up on his previous best. He's got 2:02.3. Oh, he was half a second. He's 3.35 up now. Let's just see where he gets to here. Coming down the main straight now. Into the chase. Heavy on the brakes. Does he get through clean? Yeah, looked pretty good. Over half a second up now on his best. Again, this should put him potentially top 5. So that's a big move up if he can just put it together for the final quarter. Yeah, he's looking good. He's held the speed. There you go. P5 for Larson there. A fantastic bit of driving with just 1 minute and 45 seconds to go now. Who else on a flyer? Paul Sims looks like he's putting in a good lap. Dan Moffat now is pulling out his pace too. 2:01.9 for Dan Moffat, the fastest 2:01.3 at the moment. Rich Gasson, I've missed, I think, no, I haven't missed that, going at P2. Let's just, I'm going to follow Dan actually because he's a bit ahead and Paul's given up on his lap. See Dan back in the old BMW. It's braking right for the final corner. And he comes over the line to get P4. Fantastic drive. 2:01.6 for Dan Moffat there. Some good driving. Fantastic. Who else is on a good lap here? Chris is doing pretty... he's only just started his lap. Yeah, let's have a look at Chris Bourne. He's a little bit up. Yeah, he's 2/10 up. In P9 previously, takes it to P8, only P8. Oh, I thought that. Do you know what? There's 3/10 covering the next 5 places. So yeah, 2:01.92, 2:01.79 would have got in P5. It's very, very close at the top. I predict a potentially very close race, barring incidents. I think is the way to look at it. Who else is on a good lap? Collins picked up his pace here. He's 3/10 up on his best, climbing up the mountain. Rich Gasson just up ahead of him. Don't think no, he's not close enough for a toe. Dan's going for it. He's actually 4/10 up on his previous best. This could be seriously competitive. I'll cut. Who do I want first? Others in. Sorry, I haven't really covered a lot of people on track. Apologies, I'm just stuck at the top of the grid really. I promise to do better in future. But Dan's on an absolute flyer. I mean, he just did a 2:01.6, and this would be about right if he puts in a 2:01.2. That's what I saw him do in practice. There are other guys here potentially able to do that as well. But Dan's the one on track to it at the moment. I don't think anyone else has got the time. Nobody else is on a lap who can compete with this. So if, what's he got? 3/10 at the moment. So do you know this could be pole? This could be pole. If he can get to 0.35, which he is now, 0.32, he's backed. He's under 0.3. This might be P2. Pushed Kamara down to, let's see what he gets. Stunning lap there from Dan Moffat, absolutely amazing. So Dan Moffat finishes with a 2:01.395. Gasson 3:97. So that's 2 thousandths in it between second and third. Kamara, big shout out to Kamara, starting in P4. He's the leader in the in a Pro-Am category. Colin had an absolute flyer, and sorry I missed that, but we were focusing on that, but then I went to Dan. But he got 2:01.8 at the last gasp there. So that was a smashing lap. He was in the 2:02s before that. Puts him up to P6, but crucially P2 in class. And then P3 in class is Craig Starkey in 11th. In between those guys, we've got Serrano in 5th in a Beamer. Paul Sims in 7th. I think he'll be a bit miffed with this. I think he's probably capable of a chunk quicker than that, so maybe didn't have the best quality. Chris Bourne in 8th there. Larson, I think it's Patrick, isn't it? I'm not sure. Larson in 9th. Dave Marsh in 10th. And then we're into the Pro-Ams. So yeah, got Starkey, Lenatis. Mercer is P13 in the Pro category. And then we're getting into Pro-Ams. We've got Holmes, Christopher and Rios. 2:02.9. That's pretty good. I think, You know, he hates his track and he's in the Porsche, so I think that's pretty good time, all things considered. And then we're down to the other Larson. Sorry, I don't know my names. Gary in P18, Hellstrom, Neve, Old House. Should have done a different camera, shouldn't I? And Cameron, and then Homer in P23. So 23 starters for the race. Just got to flick over for the just to get the right view. Give me a second. Okay, cool. So yeah, I mean, look at that quality. That is fantastic, isn't it? So the top 10, in fact, the top 11, all within a second, very closely within a second, which is a stunning quality. I know the race is a very different matter here, but all the same, that's some seriously good times there. I mean, I can't even get near a 2:01.3. That's stupid. Type in chat, Steve, what your best is here, and don't lie. Don't sandbag the chat. Yes, Serrano doing well there in a P5. I've not seen finishing positions. Let's just have a little look. Actually, it's not the top 10 of. Here is he? No, he's not in the top 10 in pro at the moment. So yeah, on a real push up the table there. And then again, Kamara here, like I said, he's at the top, but not by a lot. He's got Holmberg just behind him. Do we not have Holmberg this evening? We do not have Holmberg this evening. So yeah, Kamara's, if he holds it together, he's going to extend his lead in the pro-ams there. So yeah, 178, and a bit of a gap to Mr. Cook. Richard Cook can't make it tonight. I know he's travelling for work, so he's gutted. He's missing out on this. I think that's his. Yeah, pretty sure that's his week. Yeah, he's not there, is he, in the list? Yeah, 2025. Yeah, that's good, Steve. That's better than I can do. Let's swap places. That's fair enough. Thanks for being honest. Right. Now, it is a full formation lap, isn't it? Tell me it's a full formation lap. So if I do go to get water, I don't embarrass myself. Yes, we are on the start finish. So that is a full formation lap. Will not embarrass myself again with that one. Like I said, 23 starters. Top 3 are all in the pro category. What's happened here? Did Wolfslenner put in? He did. I completely missed that. Apologies, Peter. Wolfslenner put in the best lap. Right, it must have been right at the last gasp, but I completely missed it. Did anyone else see the time? I missed the time on that one. So hold on 1 second. I'll see if I can get it on screen. TL 1.315 and Dan's 395 and 397. Well, that's stunning. Fantastic. Well done, Peter. That's a serious performance. So what have we got starting behind him? Kamara in the Ferrari. Again, they're a bit better now, aren't they? But they're still not fast starting. I expect Serrano and McNair to give them a push for the first corner. We'll have to see how cautious they're feeling. Again, Kamara needs to think about that. 20 seconds. Bearing in mind he's leading class. He doesn't need to beat Serrano, but McNair in 6th. Colin there is in class with him, so he is competing for position on that as well. Let's get back to the event. Okay, let me just get to where I need to be, and we'll pop up to Helicam for the start, shall we? Who are we going to focus on? So yeah, let's have a little close-up look at a few people. Can. So yeah, there's Serrano, P5, great quality from Serrano there. And McNair in P6 in the lovely JPS livery BMW. I think it just looks good on that car, doesn't it? Wolfslenner up front leading out. Dan Moffat must be sitting there kicking himself that he lost out on that by such fractions, 400s I think that was. But there you go. Who else are we looking at here? Sims just behind Colin. Paul Sims. I want to see Chris Bourne's car because I like it. It looks so good. I just wish I could drive it. The Yeah, Roger, I can do maybe a 2:03 around here at a push, but the car doesn't look the same when it gets to the end of the lap that it did at the start. That's the bigger problem. It gets remodeled every lap. Some of those little wheels on the side of the body that just run along the walls. They look fantastic. Okay, I will try and keep control the action, try and keep on top of things. If there is a big incident and there's a lot of people involved in it, I won't try and go through and autopsy it during the race. I'll leave that for the stewards and for the drivers to work out, and race apologies and in the stewarding. But if there are a couple of things, some overtakes or some off tracks I can nip back to, I'll do my best to do that. But multitasking, and we all know the thing about blokes and multitasking. Cool. So as usual, 35 minutes, daytime race, good conditions. I didn't look at what the track temp was actually. Should have had a look at that, shouldn't I? Hold on 1 second. Trying to break it. We're looking at track 24. So ambient 22, track 24. And track is optimum, sunny conditions. And I'll leave it on lap times on the bottom left of the screen as well for you guys to see. Get back to Streamlabs. Okay, well, this should be good. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we want just to try and get a clean start. Some people putting in some seriously good laps here, so I'd hate to see those compromised. I know as well, Rich Gasson saying last night, he's just had a few races where it's just some stinkers after a couple of laps in the first few laps, so I imagine he'll be doing everything he can to make amends for that tonight, have a really good finish. Obviously, we all know with the Mountain, it's a tricky place to overtake. There's probably only 2 real overtaking points at the end of both of the long straights. So that's Conrod, isn't it? Conrod Straight and Mountain Straight. Mountain Straight's always fun because of that fast right. People going too wide there. You know, you see it on the pro streams. I wouldn't do it too often, personally. Doesn't end well. Looks like a plum, doesn't it? What else have we got that looks nice? I need to get back to the start, actually. I'm not far off now. So let's focus. I'm going to go Helicam. I'll focus on P6, which is McNair. I think as we all bunch up for the start here, is everybody in position. Fingers crossed for a good start for everybody. I want to see everyone get round 23 starters. I'd love to see all of them finishing, staying on the server if they can. Gasson with his Union flag on the roof. It's a great livery, that car. Fantastic. Serrano just behind him. Oh, yeah, that's right. Kamara sitting proud in P4 there, leading class, but Colin will be wanting to hunt him down. See, we'll get ready for green. And we're off. Yeah, Wolfslen's got a good start. It's come across the front of Dan Moffat. Gasson, cool. Oh, Colin's had a tap from Serrano. Can he pull it back together? Yes, he can, luckily. Let's just have a quick look further down the field. Everybody seems to be through okay. I'm not seeing any yellow flags just yet. Let's just keep it in Helicam for now and have a look at Kamara. Had a little cheeky look at Rich Gasson there, but decided the better of it, I think. Let him go. Wolfsletter and Moffat already looking a little bit out of sight. I'm just trying to get my stats right on the screen. Oh, there they are. 1 second, I'm just arsing around with my screens. Can't seem to see relative. That's because I haven't clicked show me relative. Now I can see relative. Great, that's better. Okay, let's just have a look at P1 and 2. Yeah, Peter's got, you know, it's not a big gap, but for lap 1, oh, he's gone right over the curbs there. I don't know how he held that together. My God. Did we see that? Let's just have a little look at that. Just go back a fraction. Look at this. Gets it all wrong there. Ah, I don't know how he held that together. Fantastic bit of driving, but my God, that's squeaky bum time, that one. Okay, back to the action now. It should be cutting back. Line astern. Nobody looking like they're doing anything crazy. Dan Moffat's the closest gap car at the moment. Really trying to give Peter a run for his money, I think, and Rich Gasson looking like he's fancying his chances. Kamara's sticking with them though. He's, like I said, he's putting in some crazy times in practice. He is really fast. Yeah, Wolseley coming through. Kamara P4. Let's just have a little look back. So we've got Chris Bourne in the next little train here. It's only lap 1. So McNair, luckily, after that tap, managed to hold together. Doesn't look like he's carrying too much in the way of damage. I'm wondering if he can keep with that AMG on the straights and get a little bit of a draft. Else he might be under pressure. I don't know if he's under pressure from that Porsche. That's Dave Marsh's Porsche behind. And Thomas at the moment, Thomas and Artis, despite being the old Fezzer, he's going well in P8. Okay, the gaps are levelling out a little bit here. In fact, the closest gaps I can see at the moment, P9, 10 and 11. Well, I lost the time in there. Yes, so it's Serrano. He had a fantastic quali, as we all saw. It's put him ahead of maybe 1-2 people that potentially in race trim have better pace than he does. So we'll have to see how that works out. That's a nice livery on that Beamer as well. Very good looking. Yeah, I like Gasson's car, Steve. I think it's a great livery. But, you know, there's like 2 camps of livery, aren't there? There's the sort of as realistic as possible, and then there's the ones that just look, you know, popping. And I think Rich Gasson's is one of those. Mind you, I'm sure there's plenty of GT3 cars in reality that look that leery as well. So, you know, it's all good. Oh, he's got a bad line out of that corner there at the bottom of the hill. I think Sims has got him lined up here. I'm pretty sure Sims will be having a go. Let's get on bonnet cam. No, he hasn't got the pace. So as Craig was telling me last night, the Ferrari's not as fast in a straight line as you think it might be. I don't think that's worth the risk, is it? No. Otherwise, oh, there is a move ahead though. Who is that? That's Dave Marsh taking Thomas Lenatis there, I think, as well. Yeah, that is a change of position. Dave Marsh is pushed ahead of Thomas for P7. So yeah, that's pretty competitive. Race it Thomas. It looks like he's overdriving a little bit there. Lit up the rears of that Ferrari. So yeah, Dave will be looking to hunt down the next group up the road now, which is the Bourne, McNair and Camaro. Looks like he's dropped a little bit back from the lead group. Dan Moffat with the fastest lap of the race so far, 2027. He's not letting Peter Wolfslener off the lead anytime soon. He's going to be hunting him down, I think. There's some very close stuff on track here for Paul Sims, Patrick Larson, and Craig Holmes, Craig Starkey. They're all within 0.2. It's a proper train. Something must have happened there actually that just pushed somebody back a little bit. It's just bunched them up somewhat. That's very close. Love the Thunderbirds livery as well, by the way. I still think that's a cracking livery on that Audi. I just think the Audi carries liveries really well. It's just a shame it doesn't carry anything else like curbs or bumps anymore. But hey, I still miss that car. It was a great car. So yeah, close battles here. Serrano in P9 doing a sterling job, and obviously at this point in the track, holding it together is all you need to do. It's what you do at the bottom of the hill. Do you get a good exit coming onto the Conrad straight? So it looks a bit tighter this time. Yeah, he's much tighter this time. He's got a better exit. Sims not as close, so I don't think, based on the fact he couldn't catch him last lap when he was right up his chuff, I don't think he's going to do it this lap. Gap at the front 0.6, so he's only gone out a fraction. Dan still with the fastest lap, the previous lap, but this lap's a little bit slower. Serrano driving really well here. The guys behind. He will be looking to hunt down Thomas Lenatis, I think, though, if that Ferrari is going to start to struggle on traction, especially with the bumps. I know going up the hill, I heard it was a bit of a handful. Wolfslener's now pumped in the fastest lap, 2:02.1. And he is 0.9 ahead of Dan Moffat now. I won't jump to that just yet. Chris Bourne is getting fairly close to Kamara. He is No, I thought, sorry, I thought he was in slipstream range, but he is not just yet. Um, Colin is, though, on Chris Bourne. So he is chasing him down. He looks like he's going well so far, Colin, having a very good race up the mountain. Again, Colin was in one of the teams running endurance over the weekend. I don't know how many hours he got in the car, but obviously it's great to be that familiar with the track if you feel that comfortable with it. Obviously they'll be pushing a second or two a lap quicker on a sprint race, but all the same it's going to be a bit of an advantage, I think. Marsh looks like he's made a mistake, and an artist has really got back up with him here. Again, hopefully not. Oh, he's lost the back there. An artist, he kept. Oh my God! No, he's gone. Oh, what a disaster for Thomas. You could see he was really pushing that Ferrari. I mean, it was fantastic driving until it wasn't. Sorry, Thomas, to show this on the replay. The back's already gone, but then he takes a lot of curb on the inside, exactly at the spot he was saying in practice he was really struggling with. He's obviously going to be carrying a lot of damage. Thankfully he's managed to carry on. Let's just see what his speed's like on the straight, shall we? See what he gets to at the end of the straight, and indeed if Serrano's able to hunt him down. Let's have a look. It's the front end, wasn't it? All front end damage. Yeah, he's lost 275. Should be getting, do you know, that's not awful. What was it, 28 something at best with a medium high downforce. So yeah, it's not too bad. Hopefully he can carry on, still have a good race, maybe with a bit of clear track in front of him as well. That'll make it a little easier to hold things together. But yeah, Serrano smelling blood, I think, a bit after seeing, would have seen that as he came up toward the top of the hill. Okay, let's cut back to the front of the action. I think Wolfson is not either. He's had not the fastest start to this lap, or Moffat just got a fantastic T1, but he's closed down 4/10 just in one straight. So Dan really on the push here. Thomas, I'll cut back to him. He looks like he's under quite a bit of pressure coming up the hill, so he's probably lost a lot of turning, hasn't he? He's going to have lost a lot of front end downforce, so he's probably taken a gear less for most corners. It's going to be creating a bit of a queue up the hill, but if he can't be overtaken on the straight, that might continue. Yeah, they're forming an orderly queue, aren't we? So a very British looking queue coming up the hill. Oh no, Colin, what happened, man? What happened? Let's go to Colin, just go back 30 seconds. He's already had a bump at the front, which I've missed. Oh, and then yeah, because he's just lost the front end grip. Too much to the car to handle, and I'm not sure what he's going to do here. Is he going to carry on? He's trying to stay out of the way as best possible. He's got a lot of damage on that car. Oh, and he's retired it. Oh, it's a shame, Colin. You were going really, really well. Oh, sorry, mate. Oh, that's sad to see. Having a really good race. Had some seriously good pace there tonight, though. Fantastic work. Let's just stay on the front for a little bit. There are some battles right through the field, and I will step back a little bit shortly. Let's just see. Yeah, Dan Moffat, he's not quite in firing range yet, is he, of Peter? But it's pretty close. What's that, 0.3? No, it's still saying 0.7 here. Yeah, okay, 0.7. I'm going to jump back to Adam Rios, who is putting up a brave fight. He qualified well, like I said, he qualified pretty well, considering what he was saying about how that Porsche feels. But yeah, it just doesn't seem confident through the mid to low speed corners in that Porsche. It does seem pretty pushy. And there is a bit of a queue forming behind him now. So we've got Christopher, Panoff and Hellstrom line astern behind him, and he's sort of bunching them up. They could end up taking each other out if they're not careful. They need to be watchful here, I think. Who's that just behind? So that's Murchie and oh, well done, camera. Yeah, Hellstrom just took the place from Murchie there, I think. Yeah, so he's up to P15. Murch just sitting behind in that Ferrari. Again, still potentially has what it takes to get ahead of him on straights. Looks a bit squirrely though, doesn't it, the Fezzer? Not as planted as you would expect it to look. Or maybe it's just a little bit of lag. Who knows? Yeah, I mean, I've noticed last couple of times I've driven the cars, just on your point, Chris, in the chat. I think the Porsche more than any, but all of these cars after 10 laps, they go through a phase at least that is really disconcerting on the tyres, no matter how you've driven. And last night's race, I really lost out. I was driving okay. I haven't driven that much for a while, but tyres went so quickly that I was fighting Rich Cook in well, this is close here, in his Bentley for 10 laps, and then suddenly I was a second or so slower at Silverstone than I was previous laps, and I got caught pretty rapidly then by Dan Moffat and Merch. Wow, hold on, what's going on there? We had a massive off. He's coming back on the track. Oh no! As you rejoin, pretty good. I don't quite know what happened there. Let's go back 30 seconds and try and make sense of this. So Merch is here. Who was that ahead of him? They're coming down all through it. Yeah, they're very bunched up. Merch goes for it on the brakes. I think the Porsche just got out of the way. You could see they were both carrying too much speed. I don't know if he nicked the other Ferrari there, or were they both just out of control. It's hard to say, but that was a scary incident. Right, this is interesting now. Dan's definitely got the pace to keep with Peter. I don't know if he's feeling confident about taking him, but he's certainly got the pace to do that. In the meantime, Rich Gasson has put in fastest lap of the race with a 2:01.7. Looks like he's taking a few risks and a few curbs to get there, but I think he fancies his chance if he can get on the back of these two. If they're squabbling a little, then who knows, might have a chance. Dan looks really good here on the coming down. Oh no, didn't quite get the pickup. Did he look closer than that? He's trying to break the toe. That's one move. Dan gives him a flash. Peter's looking in his mirrors, not ahead, and drives off the road. Dan's got massive overspeed on him there. That's a little bit loose on the moves in the braking zone, but I think we'll let that go for this lap. Dan wasn't so close he was going to compete there, but that was a bit squirrely. He's took a couple of different lines there, which if Dan had been closer, that could have ended in tears. So I think we're lucky that wasn't the case. In the meantime, Rich Gasson is absolutely flying, and he's only a second now behind the pair of them, looking really, really pacey. Yeah, his last lap wasn't electric, but neither were the two guys in front because they were battling as well. So yeah, back into the 2:03's last lap. But yeah, looking very feisty at the front. I think it could be a good battle for the top three if they do decide to really go for it. Serrano here has still got a few guys behind him. Sim's still behind him. It looks like Paul's just not able to make that Ferrari get the overspeed he needs on the BMW on the two main straights. It's going to be very frustrating for him then to be know he's got that pace, because what's he running? Serrano's running a best 2:03.6. Paul Sims, of course, because he's behind him, is 2:03.4. I know Paul will be looking to run 2:02s, low 2:02s at race pace with an empty track, but that's, you know, it's Bathurst. You've got to qualify to get your empty track, haven't you? So yeah, commentary curse always, Paul. I do my best. I need to have at least won a race. I've 100% so far in the races I have commentated on. Yeah, Serrano's he's just quick where it counts. And again, the BMW has always been good at getting the power down out of the mid to low speed corners. So if he gets the power down onto both of the straights, it's all right. It's very wide there, very wide. Paul might have a run on him here. Let's just see it from Paul's perspective. No, again, he's just not quite close enough, is he? Gary's had a bit of a nightmare. He's dropping down. He's 18 now. Well, I won't jump back to him yet because this could be a move here, couldn't it? Let's see what line Serrano takes. Paul's, yeah, do you know what? He waited, and then I think because Serrano didn't cut off the gap, Paul just went for it anyway, but a bit too late on the brakes. And yeah, let's Serrano back through. Hopefully Thomas doesn't chance it. Oh, he is as well. He's right up the inside. Oh, sorry, wrong view, wrong view. See this. Paul's defending 3 cars and trying not to crash as well. That was good driving by all those drivers. Thomas and Larson there, I think, having a little bit of a shenanigans. I'll have to talk to Gary Barham about the use of the word shenanigans. I know it is very, very carefully monitored in this group. Even for an admin, I have to be careful. Shenanigans is closely monitored. So yeah, some really good battling at the front here. Sorry, not the front. Oh no, but it's a disaster for Sims. It's just gone around coming up the hill. Must have just been too much on the brakes. Back end locks up. I don't know how he's going to get back round here. Has he got the gap to do it? No, he hasn't. He's going to have to wait for the whole field to come past him, I think, which he's politely doing. But yeah, like I said, it's frustrating. He would have had, I know he would have had pace to go a second a lap quicker. So after a while, it just gets too annoying. And yeah, that's probably the best we're going to get in the way of a flick round at Bathurst. Pretty hard to do anything else. Oh, commiserations to Paul there. That is a real shame for him. Let's just nip back to front of the field. I don't know how I've got this quite so wrong here like that. Position. Yeah, sorry, my view in my race control has gone slightly hooky in that it's showing the back of the grid at the front of the grid, which is not helpful. What else is close? So yeah, Danny again still keeping Peter honest, isn't he? Looks like again he just hasn't got the pace where he needs it. Paul's looking really good in a straight line. Maybe Peter's running just a bit less wing than Dan, which is making the difference. Yeah, he's just not closing, is he, on those straights? What else is close? Got Christopher's in the pits. You've got a few guys in the pits. Apologies, I've probably missed some incidents, some further shenanigans. Let's have a little look on track. Gary Barham's back out now after pitting. And right in the middle of it between Serrano and Lenatis, 6th and 7th. He is a lap down now, of course, so I imagine he'll be doing some good evasive manoeuvres as we come up the hill. Thomas still going, and what's he putting in now? Because he's carrying that damage, but he's doing... no, he's doing... Last lap was a 2:05, his best is 2:03.6. Best lap of the race is still with Rich Gasson 2:01.7, but Dan Moffat's got a 2:01.9 as well. Peter's done a 2:02 flat, so those top 3 super close on pace, but the gaps seem to be opening up now. Yeah, Gasson hasn't managed to close down Moffat. So he's in a bit of a race of his own now, isn't he? In P3, he's what is he? 2 and a bit seconds behind Dan Moffat. Wolfslender's towing Danny along, but Rich is having to do all the work himself. So yeah, at the moment, still fastest lap of the race, but no reward for that. It's going to be podium if he holds things together, because Kamara behind him is another 2.7 behind, isn't he? So there's some pretty big gaps at the front. It's looking close again here for Dan on Peter. I don't know if he's going to go. He's not the kind of driver to go for a dive, is he, Dan? So he's not going to kamikaze him. So he's just dependent on Peter making a mistake. And Peter, again, looking in his mirrors, not looking at the track. But holding it together, not making any silly mistakes yet. Touch wood, commentator's curse, don't say that. But yeah, driving a fantastic race under pressure. Dan piling it on, as we know he can. I was talking to Danny last night. He drives without traction control now because he's tuned himself into his pedals to the point where he knows where the grip points. And there you go, Wolfslender's made a mistake, but it put Danny off as well. So they both made a mistake there. Well, Danny didn't make a mistake, he was reacting to the mistake. It gives Gasson a chance to catch up maybe. But a big slide there coming around that sharp hairpin. Was it the cutting, isn't it? Let's just go back 30 seconds and have a look at that. Just see exactly what happened. So yeah, Wolfslender coming up the hill. Again, this is where Paul Sims lost it as well. No, Paul lost it a bit earlier. Yeah, he's on the brakes. Yeah, too much. He's just probably trailed a bit too much. And had Danny carried the speed and the momentum, maybe he could have been. But where's he going to take the space? You know, there is no space up here, is there? So yeah, Dan's got to work hard to. Clearly, he's putting Peter under pressure. Maybe there's a bit of damage there for Peter as well that's going to make a difference. Who knows? But in the meantime, Rich Gasson now is what, 2.3 behind Danny, maybe closer than that. It looks closer than that to me. What is it there? Showing 1.2. So yeah, it's getting a lot closer. So just a big shout out here. Kamara's still holding his own in P4, leader in class. Lenatis is second in class in the Pro-Ams in P7. Let's have a look at who else is commendable. Yeah, and Craig Holmes is P3 in class in the Audi. It's going very well in P9, so all credit to him as well there. He's got Larson a couple of seconds, or 1.2 behind him. He's got a buffer of Gary Barham between the two of them. So yeah, still very close at the front. It's hard not to focus on that. But let me just find some more battles on the track. Larson, well, he's a second ahead of Craig Holmes, and Craig again looking as much as they're in different classes, Craig is looking pacey in the Audi. It doesn't seem to be pretty nailed on at the moment, and it is mighty powerful on the straights. I think give the Ferrari a run for its money with the right setup. And I think that was a curse as well, wasn't it? Adam P10, good job, and now Adam's 16, so I don't quite know what happened to him. But nothing unexpected maybe for Adam, because he wasn't expecting to have a clean race here. He was struggling with the Porsche, certainly after 10 laps, I think. He was finding there it's pretty undrivable. Yeah, it's close there. Thomas being hunted down. Make no difference to where he finishes in class, Thomas, if Larson did catch him, but Craig Holmes is P4 in class and would love to catch up with Thomas if he could. So they're all going well here and running pretty good pace. Rich Gasson's last lap was a 2:02.2, which means that yeah, his gap is now. Why does it keep disappearing for the relative there? Okay, it's gone back out to 2.6. He must have had about. Oh, let's get up the front. Oh, Dan was looking super close again to Peter. Massive pressure, as Dan is, and like I said, king of the late breakers with the no TC. It's frightening when you see that bigger pixels in your rearview mirror, isn't it? As Danny brakes and closes right up on you. Where else is close on the track? Some battles here. Gary's wisely getting out of the way of Murchie, and behind him is Hellstrom, and he's come past, and Starkey's got through as well. So they're battling hard there. The battle there between Hellstrom and Starkey looking super spicy. Starkey in the Pro-Ams, Hellstrom in the Pros. But I know Craig won't look at it and say, oh, I'll hold off then. I'm pretty sure he'll be giving it a good go. Under 10 minutes to go now. I haven't lost my voice yet, but it's not far off. Oh, and he's run wide there. He's going to get good traction out of there. Craig is taking the inside line. Hopefully they're both going to respect each other's space. Last of the late breakers for Craig. Good line. What about his exit? The Porsche exit looks faster. Craig's weaving to protect his line. He can't get the stick. Yeah, you've got to stay inside, haven't you, to protect the next corner. He's going to get bumped along here if they're not careful. Don't touch him. Don't touch him. There's no benefit. Yeah, and Craig, surely he's got that move done now. Oh, he rode a lot of curb there, though. Again, probably looking back more than he was looking forward. They've both got front end damage. Gary Barham's got front row seat. Time to get the popcorn out a lap behind and just enjoy the show, I think. Yeah, he's scared. You know, Dan Moffat's the least scary man ever, isn't he? But when he's driving that car, it's absolutely frightening when he's right up your arse. It's a scary situation. These two are absolutely driving the wheels off, aren't they? They're really going for it. That Porsche enough lift up over the hill there. Right, let's see where we end up at the bottom of the hill. I'll stick with this for a second. We've still got the same gap at the front, status quo at the front. Serrano's still got Lenatis right up behind him, but it's 0.4. gap's just opened up a bit actually. Don't know why, but it's become a slightly bigger gap. Yeah, Starkey's got the exit there for the straight. I think the Porsche will not catch him there. And he's also got Murch's draft as well. So it's a good advantage for Craig. Craig seems to really, even with that damage, he seems to be able to come very good at the second half of a race these days. He's running faster laps than let's have a look at this. Last lap, not so much, but his best is faster than a few of the guys ahead of him. So yeah, he's going to fancy his chances of probably giving Murchie a run for his money. My public apologies to Murchie for my cutting him off last night. I apologise to him in the group as well. But at Silverstone, luckily I didn't completely beans his race, but I still chopped his nose off in the Sunday. I say that there was enough space, but I'd say I wasn't 100% aware of my surroundings as well. So did I completely murder him? No. Was I unaware of him being slightly up my inside? No, I wasn't aware of that either. So, you know, things happen when you're going fast and you're old. Still really good battle here. Right at the front, still 0.6 between Danny and Peter. I don't know if Danny's going to give it one last push. We might have to cut to him for the last few minutes just to see what goes on there. Let's cut some other drivers on the track now. Serrano, he's 4 seconds ahead of Thomas. 2 seconds ahead, so my relative's going slightly mental here. Craig Holmes being pursued by Larson. I think that's Johan, isn't it? Larson, Johan, is it? I can't remember. Could be John. Not got a good memory. Yeah, so he's still going really well. Again, in that Audi, what's he putting in? He's just put in his best lap on the previous lap, 2:03.8. So, yeah, maybe I've given up on that car prematurely. Who knows? Thunderbird 1 is go. It looks good. That's a good livery. Again, the way the Thunderbird's logo works on the air intakes of the Audi looks really sweet, doesn't it? What's this happening? Oh, this is super close. Well, 0.4 here again, coming up the mountain for P1 and 2. Rich Gasson, okay, he's just like, it's so close, yet it's a world away, isn't it? Just when you're trying to catch up with the front two, putting in still pretty hot laps. I mean, mid 202s, low 202s. Yeah, last lap for Dan was 202 dead. So they're putting in good laps, but again, 202.4 for Rich Gasson. He's still got fastest lap of the race. He's got the pace. He's just not able to get up on the back of these two to make it happen. But I don't know. Maybe he'll be pleased because his P3 is without serious mistakes. Touch wood so far is what he was looking for. He's looking for some consistent high finishes. P3 is pretty good, so I wouldn't be complaining. Kamara in P4 still ahead of leader in class. Hellstrom's had a incident. I think he's just had an off track, to be honest. Doesn't look like there's anyone. Let's just go back 15 seconds and see what happened. Oh no, he's just run off track. Nothing to write home about there. What are we looking at here? 202.4 for Rich Gasson. My relative's gone completely insane now, but I'll try and stick with it. Yeah, it's crashed. My race controller's crashed, but I'll try and stick with it. Right, so yeah, Peter's still there in P1, fairly close to P2. Let's try to turn the relative off and on. That might work better. Rich Gasson's still fighting hard. Let's just have a little bit of a look back. So yeah, leader in class for Pro-Am is Kamara in P4 in this race. And again, last few races, he's been well in the top 10 and often in the top 5, running well in the races. I know he had a nightmare at Watkins Glen he doesn't want reminded about, but apart from that, he's just super fast, going really well. Long way behind him now, Dave Marge, 16 seconds. There's some big gaps on this track now. Serrano running P6 and running off track, but getting it back on again. Everyone's tyres probably aching by this point in the race. Thomas is hell P7 even with that damage, so he's done well considering. Who knows? Maybe remodeling the old Ferrari has made it drive better. It's a possibility. Who knows? Yeah, it's interesting you said that about the R8, Roger, because I think there's two things, aren't there? A, it's pretty dated now. It doesn't look particularly supercar, does it? And the other thing is just Audi's policy, because they've got a hybrid policy, haven't they? They've got hybrid targets they want to meet. So I imagine having a massive sports car racing around in their fleet still as their flagship probably isn't where they want to be. It's probably going to be an electric, boringly, but realistically, it's where they're going to be. I don't know, but I think they're all like that now. They've all got targets to be fully electric by X date. All of the Volkswagen Audi group I know have, and it's really soon. I think it's fully electric. I know there's government targets, but I think they're heading ahead of other people. Anyway, it's all gone a bit politics, isn't it? What are we looking at now? What are the gaps? 0.5 at the front. I will nip further back. It's just like watching the lap again and again, isn't it? Unless Peter beans it and leaves a gap for Danny. I don't think Danny's going to do anything stupid. It's only got a couple of minutes left, so we're going to get one more lap after this one, aren't we? Yeah, one more lap. So this is penultimate lap. So Rich, realistically, unless there's mistakes, he's not going to close that up. Camaro, we could just see in P4 running really well. Second in Pro-Am is Thomas Lenatas. Third is Craig Holmes, and again having a really solid, consistent race, running really good laps. Again, my relative crashed, so I can't rely on the fact that it says his fastest lap was his last one. But all the same, he's running really well. Then there's a 6-second gap to Murchie, who's running P10, followed by Larson and Hellstrom in the three-tone Porsche there. 6.4 gap to Neve in a Ferrari, all white Ferrari, all white. Yeah, all white Ferrari. It does have a bit of styling, doesn't it? It's got some highlights on the fence there, some red highlights. Pretty minimal. Again, it's I think it looks good. It's just the front of it looks great. Back of it looks like crap. Let's be honest. But the front of it looks great. And the floaty mirrors. People like their floaty mirrors. Homer, I've not really spent any time with focusing on Home tonight. He's got a lot of front end damage there by the look of it, so that's going to be affecting his pace up and down the hill, if not so much on the straight. He's running P14. Rios in 15 with Oldhouse 0.6 behind him. Battle of who's got the least damage, I think, at this point. So both with front end damage. Yeah, but he'll be trying to hold on to that. Although, again, different class. Oldhouse is Pro, Rios Pro-Am, so maybe not fighting too hard for that. Oh, I've completely missed everything, haven't I? Let's watch this now. Wolfslener coming up the hill. Dan Moffat on his second behind. He's giving him a flash. He's giving him the flash. Let's see what happens here. Coming down the mountain, Wolfslener pushing hard. Dan taking a tight line there. He's right up behind him. Looks close. He's giving him another flash. He really wants this. Let's see what happens. Just coming down to the back straight. How's his exit? Dan's exit look good. Look better. What happened there? He's out of fuel. He must be out. Or is he just let him go? Maybe he's let him go. Maybe the flashing was for a reason. We may have missed something for Wolfslener there. Hold on, but let's just see. Rich Gasson in P2 now. So he's let Gasson go as well. I say let him go. Oh, he must. Let's have a listen to the car. Is he fuel saving? What's going on? Oh, I don't know what happened there. Let's get back to TV2 anyway. With Dan Moffat's got the lead gas on in second. Wolfslener now he's there, but why? He's backed right off and he let both of them pass. Something happened there. Either he switched the car off or he's gone to a weird fuel map. Something happened, but he definitely moved over, didn't he, for Dan Moffat on the at the bottom of the hill, at the bottom of the mountain. Don't quite understand it. This is the final lap now, so this is going to be how it stands. It's going to be Moffat, Gasson, Wolfslener. Wolfslener again. I think he's down a lower map. I think he's running a lower map, and he knows rather than cause Dan to have to fight him for the place, maybe he just moved across. That's just my guess, but who knows? Who knows? Anyway, let's focus on our leader, because coming home victorious, there's a lot of flashing going on, but no lunges, no dive bombs. So fantastic race from Dan Moffat, who's going to bring it home, barring the last corner, which I hope he does make successfully. Dan Moffat brings it home after hunting down Peter relentlessly for that whole race in P1. Finishes the race. It's good laps, 201.9 the race. Gasson P2 out of nowhere, can't believe his luck. Wolfsenner comes home P3. Don't know what happened there, and I'm sure we'll find out on the Discord a bit later, so keep an eye out there. Look at how things panned out, but let's just move our way a bit further down the track, because we've still got a bit of a race on behind, haven't we? Kamara's finished P4, but Lenatis and Holmes are battling for second and third place in class in the Pro-Ams, but it looks like Craig Holmes just didn't get quite close enough. But yeah, fantastic pace in that Audi as well, really coming good even towards the end of the race, not dropping off too badly at all. Thomas doing well to hold P7, but crucially Silver, second place on the podium in that group. Then we're looking at Larson, Panov, Hallstrom, Neve coming home, well done, in P12. Homer P13. Rios is P14. Looks like Andy left the gap there, or Rios has just outpaced him. But yeah, coming home significantly further behind. These guys all made us stop, I think, for damage, or certainly had a lot of damage. So didn't finish as well as they'd hoped to. So you can flash, Steve House. Flashing is permitted, not excessive flashing, Steve, and also not outside of the game. Flashing outside of the game is wrong. It will always be wrong, no matter how good a barrister, how good a defender you had in court. Your lawyer may have got you off, but we all know the truth. So yes, you can flash. Getting a bit off topic there. So yeah, let's look at the finishing positions, and I'll just go through. So again, Dan Moffat finishes P1. Congratulations, Dan. Fantastic driving. Great pressure on Peter. Peter, fantastic driver. Don't quite know what happened there on the last lap, but we'll find out later. Rich Gasson, congratulations on P2. Fantastic driving. And then, of course, it was Peter in P3. There's a few people dropping off a server now. Thomas drove very well as well to get on the podium, as did Craig Holmes in the Pro-Am category. But Kamara nailed it there. Fantastic drive for him, finishing top of class as well. So that's a fantastic race. I really enjoyed that. There were a few incidents, but there weren't. I think it was all respectful driving. I think we did pretty well, didn't we? Just go back to the end picture. Hello, it's me here. Sat here, not racing. But yeah, fantastic race. I really enjoyed that. Hopefully you guys in Group 1 who get to watch it a bit later enjoy watching yourselves back. There was some good stuff there. I hopefully caught a fair bit of it. So yeah, thank you to you guys in chat as well for coming along, keep me company. It does help just having a few people there, and I do try to keep hold of the chat as well and see what's going on. Yeah, any quick promotion for us, not that you're listening, but other people will when they watch this back. We are going to run the Alpines on Wednesday night around Brands Hatch as a one-off in the GT4s. We're going to have a laugh with those. Hopefully come along. You've got to sign up for it, but it's a one-off. It's just got to sign up so we get the right car. I'll set that up shortly. I was considering KTMs, but everyone told me they're shite. So we're doing the Alpines. So yeah, we'll do Alpines on the Wednesday night. Tomorrow night, Group 2, to you guys in chat, good luck tomorrow night. I hope it's as clean a race as it can be. I think Group 1 had as clean a race as they could do. No, there were no blatant murders that I saw. Obviously, the incidents we did see were just people getting around the mountain. That's just the way it goes, isn't it? It's a tough one. Yeah, so yeah, hopefully everybody had a pretty good race. Don't know how much work there's going to be for the stewards. Thankfully, I'm not one of them, so I don't worry too much, but I do feel for them. It's a thankless job, and they never get it right, do they? They never get it right. But good luck to the stewards sorting out anything that comes out of that. But that's fantastic. Thank you all for coming. I will see you. Yeah, I'll see you hopefully in the next one. Is it break? It's break next week, isn't it? But yeah, and if you can make it Wednesday night, come along and hammer some Alpines around Brands Hatch. Consider it to be a touring car race. Come and have a laugh. It should be a bit of fun. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Thanks for coming along, and I'll see you all again soon. And in the